What do you say, everybody? With Trey, Yanity, I'm Mick Gillispie. It's time for Monday Night Quarterback on Bama Insider, and we appreciate you guys being here tonight. Make sure you like and subscribe, be part of our network. We're trying to get it as big as Bryant-Denny Stadium, and we're on the doorstep of doing that right now. So please be part of what we're doing. Like and subscribe, hit the share button, tell your friends about it as we talk Alabama football on YouTube like we do every single Monday night. And our show is brought to you by Westgate Luxury Condominiums. What's up, Trey?
What's going on, Mick? Great to be back for another Monday edition. I know we got the NFL draft this week, so excited for that. Excited to talk about a new transfer to Alabama as well, of course. We got baseball rocking and rolling, softball continuing to dominate, and another guy in the transfer portal today from Alabama. A lot to talk about. Excited to be back for it. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. And I know, there's every single day you turn around and it's like someone's leaving, someone's coming in, and Alabama has done a great job of picking up playmakers when it comes to the transfer portal. Guys, as you hang out with us here on our site, please make sure you do a great job and comment in the comment section and tell us what you think, man. Make comments. We appreciate that as well as you hang out with us here on the site and talk Alabama football. Trey, what were your thoughts? Alabama getting another speed wide receiver, someone else to make a difference?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, Tyler Harrell is special, and he's a different kind of transfer. He's not as much of a Jermaine Burton. He's going to give you that deep threat. This is a kid, from Miami originally, had a lot of success at Louisville. You look at his 2021 season, really the year that he made an impact. I believe he opted out in 2020. Didn't do too much before that, but in 2021, 18 receptions, 523 yards, averaging 29 yards per catch there. Per game there, 6 touchdowns, 92 was his long. So obviously, you can throw the deep ball to this guy. That's something we had in Jameson Williams this past year. And it was a lot of fun to see a guy transfer into the program, immediately mesh with that receiving core, have so much success to the point that he was a Blitnikoff finalist. I don't know if Tyler Harrell is going to be able to fill those shoes. Jameson Williams set a very high mark there, but this is a guy that has a similar skill set and a guy that, really well rounds this receiving core, if nothing else. We waited for this for a while. Thought we were going to get a little bit earlier. I knew we would see probably one more receiver in this transfer portal window. There's just been so much buzz around several guys. Harrell, does make that decision though, and I'm excited. I think this is just another threat. I've seen many comments on Twitter, YouTube, everything else. And what's up, Ariel? What's up, Judy? We got Mike Coleman. Everybody. We got Lindsey Black in the comments wondering about your background right now, but this is exciting.
On the road. Mick. This is on the road, Mick. I'm not in my home studio right now, but it's baseball season, so this, Trey. Oh, yeah. Working on baseball and doing this in the, on the Monday night when I'm off. And I look, here's the thing. For Alabama, they're going to get better and better with this transfer portal. Here comes the 5th guy that is a difference maker in the transfer portal for Alabama, and he's a speedster. We know that he can catch passes, and I thought Alabama needed some help in wide receiver, Jermaine Burton, and now Harrell.
Yeah, I mean, this core, was young before the 2 transfers, but, now it has some experience, and even without him, this core is just so talented. There's so many different skill sets within this group. Great note there from Chris, 4.20 40-yard for Tyler Harrell. Just so much speed here. And now you have a veteran that you can, maybe check it down to more often or throw it to over the middle in Jermaine Burton. And then you have, so many young receivers that you could turn to. Obviously not a Jai Hall anymore. But, if you look at just this offense in general, Mick, who is even going to be able to, stop this team for a play? And you look at tight end too here. We're going to get into that a little bit later. But even without a transfer potentially, this room still, I think, has a lot of potential. I think Amari Niblack, is going to turn some heads this year. I think he's going to get some playing time. Hopefully he does get that playing time. Cameron Latu is going to be a steady tight end as well. But, this offense in general, when you talk about the hands, the hands team, it's just so deep now. And Tyler Harrell, kind of making it a trend here for the speedy, experienced receiver. Come on down, be a part of this offense. Bryce Young is used to having a guy like this to throw to. So, thankfully for him, he's getting another one right out of the transfer portal here in Tyler Harrell.
Alabama and Nick Saban have done just a tremendous job of picking the transfer portal for some of the best players. I mean, you look at the 5 guys who have come to Alabama This is the second wide receiver in Harrell, but it gives Alabama a deep threat. You got Burton, who brings kind of like that, intermediate guy that they lost in the draft. And it doesn't surprise me at all that Nick Saban is digging in and finding difference makers in spots where Alabama was in need.
I think when we talk about Nick Saban as being the greatest coach of all time, it's not just because of what happens on field, and that's obvious. But even aside from recruiting high school talent, what he's able to do with this modern era of transferring and what he's been able to do already with NIL, it's amazing. I mean, this guy is 70 years old, and he has evolved this program, to the likes of any young Dabo Sweeney-esque, type program right now, and because of that reason, I don't think Alabama is going to ever struggle in the transfer portal. Nick Saban just, knows how to work his magic. You hear about guys flipping, with some of these assistants as well. I think in general right now, and we talked about it last week on our recruiting show, you just feel so confident on the recruiting trail, not with just high school guys, but with the transfer portal as well. You have so many experienced coaches on this staff, guys that understand it, and guys that can legitimately help you get to the NFL. I think that's the goal for a guy like Tyler Harrell, a guy like Jamison Williams. Improve your stock. Some of it's going to win a championship. Obviously, the door is wide open for anybody that transfers to Alabama to do that year in and year out. But I love what Bama Boy is saying here in the comments. Isaiah Bond, guys, if you don't know the name, go watch the tape. So special. He's going to be really quick as well. But, it's just a golden opportunity for anybody that has been able to establish themselves, that, anybody that's a veteran at this point in time, because you look at the average age of this team, it's a bit younger still. So, anybody that can add to this team, I think is welcome here. But at the same time, Nick Saban's not going to extend that offer, is not going to make you maybe want to transfer here unless he can promise you playing time, unless he really imagines you to be part of the scheme or, offense, defense, whatever that may be. So, for the guys that do transfer here, you expect big things because, they probably wouldn't be here unless he knows that they can produce right away.
Yeah, and look, Alabama has gone into the transfer portal, and the guys that they've brought in have been difference maker. Gibbs was the MVP of the 8A game. You're talking about Ricks, who's a former five-star, who's going to be a starter in the secondary. You're talking about, the transfer Burton from Georgia, who Alabama is expecting to be a kind of a big-time player in a slot spot. And you look through and you're like, Steen on the offensive line. When Alabama makes a decision to go and get someone from the transfer portal, they're making decisions for guys that they think are going to make a big difference in the team.
Oh, for sure. I mean, when you talk about, some of the guys that have come to this program, obviously it's been immediate impacts. And that's the standard if you're going to transfer to Alabama. The guys that have transferred here, you notice a trend. It's guys that worked very hard at their previous school and, maybe it just wasn't the right fit. Maybe that's teammates, coaches, schemes, whatever the case may be. The guys that come here have always been very hard workers. You look like a guy, Henry To'o, Jamison Williams, the past two that we're getting to see from what we've seen, about Zach Steen, very hard worker, and, Jermaine Burton as well. These guys want to win a championship, but, they want to know what it's like to be part of the madness at Alabama, to be part of this program, this tradition, this standard. That's a word you hear a lot within the athletic department, but that's the truth. This program has a standard unlike any other school. And if you're a senior, junior, looking to advance your future stock a little bit, why not go to a program with that standard so you can match it and be on prime time in front of millions of people every week. Wearing the script day doesn't hurt either.
Guys, like and subscribe as you hang out with us here on the channel as we talk Alabama football on YouTube. We appreciate you being here. He's Trey Yanity. And I'm Mick Gillispie. And I'll tell you what, we love having you guys here on the show as we talk Alabama football on YouTube. The Crimson Tide still, months away from the start of the season. But I'll tell you what, adding a guy like Harrell is showing you that Alabama is kind of building towards another national championship team. And Trey, I felt like when they added Harrell to the team, it was kind of like, hey, here we go. The Crimson Tide building to another title contender and filling in those holes that they needed to kind of fill.
No doubt about it. I mean, this was, priority for Alabama. I think first and foremost, get some secondary help. They got that back in December. it's some running back help. They got that pretty much immediately as well. So once you had that in place, you started to feel good about the ceiling of what they could do in the transfer portal. You get 2 big-time receivers to add to a young receiving core. Guys, in the comments, I'm seeing some great comments here. Box WX talking about some of these young receivers. Let me know who your favorite is, because got the chance to see Isaiah Bond this past summer. He might be my favorite out of this class, because he won this big competition.
Trey, check your mic, man. It's not. I think you might have.
Oh, is it? Are we going to the effect button again?
Yeah, check it again.
Here we go. Oh man, I can't wait to see what happens in the comments this go around here. No, guys, sorry about
Darth Vader's back.
I was just trying to emphasize, the fact that this receiving core is so talented, and maybe you didn't hear me, but I want you guys to get in the comments and let me know which one of these receivers is your favorite, because I see some great comments about, Isaiah Bond in here, Shaz Preston, talking about some of these guys. It's not as bad so far, man. Not too many comments tearing me to pieces quite yet, but guys, let me know what you think. I'm going to go Isaiah Bond as my favorite receiver out of this young core. But overall, Mick, I mean, this is going to be a team that has an incredibly high ceiling. It's got some youngsters, so, the floor is there as well. But, we don't want to overhype it. I could easily see this being one of the greatest offenses of all time. Really? I don't want to say team yet, but this offense is stacking up, and the defense is going to be just as fun to watch. Like I said, no rat poison. I don't want to overhype it, too much, but you guys are right there with me. I mean, just what we've seen in the transfer portal, what we've seen in recruiting, and with the pieces in place. You have a Heisman winner and Will Anderson on your team. If they don't, if they don't win the national title, I think it's somewhat of a disappointment.
What do you think about the offensive line where we are right now?
I did turn demonic on everybody, Chris. I'm sorry about that.
There you go again. This is it's just kind of part of your thing now.
We're gonna make it a weekly segment on here, guys. I'm just gonna turn to the Darth Vader voice, and we're gonna vibe for a little bit. No, this is still a very young offensive line. Huge addition, of course, with Steen out of the transfer portal. But you have some talented youngsters, and you have some injuries to this part of the team as well right now. So you got to get healthy with your offensive line. We're talking about Dallas Turner now in the comments. I need to see more receivers, guys. I think somebody said Kobe Prentice, also one of my very favorites. But offensive line is still the biggest worry. I would have loved for that to be a little bit more confirmed in the 8A game. It was a wet day, and we didn't see a very good performance from the offensive line. So it definitely wasn't an ideal day, and I think Mick has maybe jumped out of the studio here. I don't know if we got a laptop down, what's going on, but I guess I'm going to be commanding the ship now. No, we got Mick back. What's up, Mick?
I'm back. Keep going.
No, I was just wrapping up there. This offensive line, I think, worries me a little bit overall. More than anywhere else, of course, because you lose such a big piece and you have so much youth there, but still have time. And, I think still a lot of room for improvement. And I think take A-Day for a grain of salt because, it was a rainy day and Will Anderson and Dallas Turner had their way.
No doubt about it. Look, I mean, it was one of those 80 games where you're like, the defense is just taking over. And for Alabama, they're going to have to block a little bit to give Bryce Young and the offense some more help, right, going into this season. But Alabama and Nick Saban, like, he's always constantly looking for the next guy that's going to help this team move forward, right?
He is. And, we've caught some buzz this week. I saw a comment a little bit earlier about Dalton Kincaid. This would be the next edition, I think, if there was going to be one. We're not too sure about the sources quite yet. We don't want to put anything out there. He hasn't even entered the transfer portal at this point. So as of right now, he's going to be rejoining the Utah Utes for this upcoming season. But this would be a great addition. This is a guy
that'd be a tight end.
Another tight end, and a guy that didn't play football until his senior year of high school. So this is a guy that didn't really have the hype coming into college. Had 2 offers, ended up going to San Diego to start his college career, and went crazy there. So he got the promotion to the Power 5 Utah Utes and has had a couple of great seasons there. Another veteran guy that you would love to add to this offense, helping out that offensive line a little bit too. This is, a good blocking tight end as well. So, and I'm with you, Mike. A-Day was completely a wash, guys. So, take it with a grain of salt. But this would be the next edition if there was going to be one. But like I said, no confirmation there yet. So we got to wait on that one.
What do you think about Alabama football? What's the thing that you look at this team and you're going, okay, these are the areas where we need to improve? The transfer portal has definitely helped them in wide receiver, right? 2 guys now. Offensive line, they've gotten 1. Defensive backs, they've gotten 1. Where would you think that Alabama needs to improve moving forward to next year?
I think we got to wait and see. I think this offensive line still has a high ceiling, depending on how healthy they can look in the fall. So I don't want to, come crashing down on their door yet. But I think there's still room for improvement in a lot of areas. There's for as good as this receiving core is looking now with Tyler Harrell, with the addition of Jermaine Burton, there's still a lot of youth. We still have to see some of these guys pan out a little bit. But that just comes with reps. So I think we got to wait. For my two biggest areas of concern, at cornerback as well, you have some freak athletes there and a little bit of depth, but I think a little bit more depth would help, if you could figure out a way to get some of these youngsters involved, or maybe there's another transfer there as well. If there was one position, I think everybody agrees with me that I am completely not concerned about is going to be outside linebacker.
Right.
You have the two best outside linebackers in the SEC on your team, and then you go down the list. Chris Braswell is an excellent third option there. Jeremiah Alexander, part of the program now, would love to see him get some kind of playing time this season. Probably not going to happen, but this team is absolutely loaded. We could go around it in circles. I think you can get worried about this offensive line, but we just got to wait a second and give them some time, because the fall is still several months away, and you got to hope they get healthy.
Thank you to Mark Allen for the $10 super chat. We appreciate all you guys that are hanging out with us tonight and hooking us up. He's Trey Yanity. I'm Mick Gillispie, and it's Monday Night Quarterback here on the Bama Insider YouTube channel, talking Alabama on YouTube, as we always do on Monday night. So, hey, those go a long way. We really appreciate you guys being part of what we do. All right, Trey, kind of rounding out football talk. We kind of got into the 8A game. We talk about Harrell and Steen, who are the last two guys to enter the Crimson Tide program. Do you think that Alabama is going to have some more people join out the program before it's all said and done?
It's tough to say. It's really tough to say at this point. Getting another receiver I think is one of the last pieces here. But it's not over yet. There's definitely, like I said, Dalton Kincaid could be an addition. Maybe they look for some more offensive line help. Maybe they look for a little bit more depth in the secondary. Not quite sure. It's still up in the air at this point. But hey, guys, think about last summer. Henry To'oTo'o, Jamison Williams, both at this time last year, had not made that announcement yet. So give it time. Maybe there's something else left in the cards here for the transfer portal. But if there's not, I mean, you cannot be mad at this class. This is one of the greatest transfer classes, I think, that we've ever seen.
NFC boys, thank you for hooking us up, man. All you guys with the super chats, Trey and I both appreciate it. Chris Daughtry as well, man. Chris had some car trouble. Coming back to Tuscaloosa after the last show at my house in L.A., Lower Alabama. So, man, all this super chat money goes a long way to what we do, man. We appreciate you guys so much, more than you guys even know, as we hang out with you on a Monday night. So like and subscribe, share, tell your friends about it as we talk Alabama football right here on YouTube. All right, I said talk football. Let's talk a little baseball. Let's talk a little softball. As we move forward, let's start with softball. They're a game back, really like a game and a half back in the loss column of Arkansas. They did lose one game this weekend, but the schedule's tough. You got to give the Razorbacks a lot of credit. They swept. So, we're moving down the stretch. Alabama's still second place in the SEC. Pat Murphy's team trying to win the conference championship.
I mean, this team's loaded, and they've had such a great season to this point. A little bit of a low this weekend against Arkansas, but I have all the confidence in the world for this team. You have the best pitcher in the country in Montana Fouts. You have some really nice pieces coming along offensively. Ashley Prange has been amazing. A lot of veteran experience on this team as well. So, this team may be taking a loss this weekend, but they're going to bounce back. They're going to be just fine. And on the baseball side of things, at this point, I think a regional is realistic. Saw it last season, and I think the formula for this group is really, just going 500 in the SEC. You don't have to, go win more series than not. You just have to split them. You have to figure out a way to get a game from schools like Mississippi State. Get a game from the Floridas. Get a game from the Vandy's of the world. Going to sweep Ole Miss, that's massive. But, you have to stack up these wins. I think 500 gets them into a regional. For softball, they are locked into whatever they want. Still in the top 3 in the country here. I think they're going to continue to run. And like you said, Mick, thank you guys so much for those super chats, because that does go so much further than you know. So we appreciate it.
All right, guys, as you hang out with us here talking Alabama football and sports, on the Monday Night Quarterback Show. Make sure you like and subscribe. Our show's brought to you by Westgate Luxury Condominiums. We're 200 feet from Bryant-Denny Stadium. I'm telling you, like right there next to Bryant-Denny, that's where we are. 200 feet. You want to go to the Walk of Champions. You want to go to Galette's. You want to go to the Strip. You want to go to campus. We're right there next to all of it. So make sure that when you come to town next time and you're looking for a place to stay, Westgate Luxury Condominiums, it's definitely a place that they take care of you. Great parking. They got the Skygate Club for game days. Trey and Chris and I hang out there every time Alabama has a home game. So, look, I promise you that if you come to town, that's the place you're going to want to hang out. All right, let's take a look at a little bit of baseball. The Crimson Tide lost 2 out of 3 against Georgia. They did win a game. I think this team is a regional team. Maybe they're a year away from being a really good team, but you know what? They're tough. And after beating number 1 Tennessee and winning 1 out of 3 games, they go to Georgia and they win 1 out of 3 against them.
Yeah, tough series against the Dogs there, and it's been a tough year against Georgia in general. Not going to talk about January, and then we rolled into February, and tough loss for basketball, and now you go down in baseball, but Friday's here, Sunday's coming, guys. It's going to be all right. They got a win on the road, another win in the SEC, and like I said, you don't have to go win every series. This is a series, you went to Athens for. It's it's one of these series you'd love to have gotten, especially with how hot they have been. But at this point, I think winning 2-3 more series in the league, and you're certainly into a regional. Maybe even winning 2-3 more games in the league with some of the wins that this team has gotten. And, you look at the resume, it would have been killer to get a win at Texas when they had the opportunity to. Lost by a run in one of those games. So, would have loved to have gotten one of those wins at Mississippi State when they just blew it in those first 2. And, the game they blew against Florida. Love to get those back, but I think the resume is still good enough at this point. Put them into a regional. If Connor Prelip was here, they might be hosting one.
What about softball? Second in the SEC, trying to stock up on Arkansas. Arkansas having one of the best seasons they've ever had. Alabama is back, 3 games in the loss column. So technically they're back like a game and a half. But Arkansas has played less games, and Alabama still second and still in the mix for the SEC.
Oh yeah, I mean this this group could easily still win the SEC championship, and if we talk about even further than that, this team has never lost a regional game. They've only hosted in Patrick Murphy's time, and they've still not just not made it out of the regional. They've never lost a game in the regional play. So would love to see that streak continue this season. Would love for them to get back out to Oklahoma City. I don't know if you've seen, Mick, the University of Oklahoma Sooners are absolutely dominant this year.
They're great. So they've lost 1 game.
Yeah, they've been amazing. So going to be a gauntlet here to close it out. But this is the fun time of the year. Baseball, softball, getting into the thick of it. We get to start to talk about regionals. Hopefully, maybe a super, maybe Omaha in an absolutely perfect world. And for softball, hopefully Oklahoma City. I think they've set the standard to where that's not, incredibly unrealistic, to expect every year, like the football team. But, overall, these 2 programs are a lot different right now. Softball, I think leaps and bounds ahead still, but baseball well on its way. They have the right guy in position to get him there, and it's a really talented team this year.
All right, final topic today on the show is basketball, and Jahvon Quinnerly coming back to Tuscaloosa to play some hoops. A little bit of a surprise. I thought that he was going to leave, but he's back. We've had a lot of guys transfer out, but he's coming back, and that's a good sign for Nate Oates and the Crimson Tide.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is huge. This is a guy that I'd almost just ruled out in my mind as not coming back. But, you get a guy that at times this year looked like a top point guard in the league, and a guy that, can really facilitate the offense. He brings such a veteran edge that you didn't see in a guy like J.D. Davidson. J.D. Davidson has all the talent in the world. He's going to go get drafted this year. But, for Jahvon Quinnerly to bring that experience back to this team, to bring it to a team that's going to be pretty young, a team that's seen some transfers at this point, not just losing guys to the draft, guys leaving the school for another stop. It's huge to get one of your main offensive pieces, solid defender as well in Jahvon Quinnerly. This was surprising, for me. I don't know about you, but I really didn't expect him to come back.
I thought it was good news. Like, honestly, like I thought
Great.
it was good. I mean,
Yeah.
J.D. Davidson, like, I don't feel like he's ready for the NBA, right? But Quinnerly's Alabama's arguably their best player from last year. They're going to go into the transfer portal. They're going to bring guys in from, high school. They're going to have a really good team. And I think it just really helps them to have someone with so much experience and success to kind of lead things as we move forward. And it's a different world now. It's not the same college basketball world that we had a couple of years ago. Now in this day and age, like, guys might come in, they don't want to play. They roll out, and new guys come in. I think having Quinnerly is a big thing for Alabama. And I think for Nate Oates, I think it's a big win for him as well.
Oh, it's great. And, I can't wait to see what kind of gauntlet he lays out for this team again this year, because that's his strategy. And I love it, to be honest. Play as many top-ranked teams as you can, play as many quality teams, get that RPI up, get that strength of schedule up, because, this team had some really bad losses this year, but we didn't have to sit here and sweat, didn't have to think about it, because they played that schedule and got some great wins. I think we'll see a lot of the same this year. You hope this group can mesh well. It's going to be a different look, no doubt about it. But having Jahvon Quinnerly to come back and be a leader on this team is going to go so far, because they might not have had that kind of leadership for at least this upcoming season.
Well, I agree. Well, that does it for Monday Night Quarterback. Anything that I didn't get to tonight, Trey?
I think you're all good, Mick. I feel great that my Pirates took 3 out of 4 from your Cubs, but the one loss was 21-0. So
it was a bad loss. The one loss was huge, but besides that, everything else was good. Yeah, look, I'm not sitting here holding serve on the Cubs, but it was a nice win for the Cubs. When you win by 21, it was the biggest win in the history of the franchise, right?
Yeah.
Going past the 20-0 when they had in 1886.
Yeah.
But besides that, they still didn't find a way to win. Let me throw this up here, guys, and let me remind you that if you're coming to Tuscaloosa, you need to come and hang out at Westgate Luxury Condominiums right there next to Bryant-Denny Stadium. You're talking about Jillian and her great crew and everyone that takes care of you there, and the luxury, the Wolf and Sub-Zero kitchens, the oversized balconies, the 1 to 5 bedroom units that go from 900 to 3,000 square feet, the oversized balconies that overlook downtown Tuscaloosa and around town, the Skygate Club, which is on the roof. It's awesome. It really is. It's just the best place to hang out and check out Crimson Tide football or Alabama or Tuscaloosa anytime. Find out more information at westgateal.com. And I promise you, if you come and stay there, you're going to see me and you're going to be like, man, thank you for telling me, because that place is absolutely legit. All right. Anything else, Trey, before we get out of here?
I'm good. I just appreciate you guys for being in the comments all night long, talking about a range of subjects tonight. Not as much football this time of the year, but there's still a lot of stuff going on in the world of Alabama athletics. So appreciate you guys being here for another week of Monday Night Quarterback.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Look, for Chris Daughtry, who always does a fantastic job back behind the scenes, and our main man, Kyle Henderson, Andrew Bone will be on tomorrow with a look at recruiting. I'm Mick Gillispie for Trey Yanity. Thanking all of you guys for being part of our show. That does it for Monday Night Quarterback. Alabama moving forward, getting ready for the first game of the season and the regular season of Crimson Tide football. We'll have all that covered for you right here on the Bama Insider Alabama Football YouTube channel. For Trey and the entire crew, thanks for watching, guys. Roll Tide.